You're plugged into Schaumburg Speaks, a podcast highlighting and celebrating local businesses and community in the Schaumburg area.
Hello and welcome to Schaumburg Speaks, where we're plugging into business and community, brought to you by the Schaumburg Business Association and Ian Ryan Interactive. I'm your host, Andrea Bewer, president of the SBA, and today's guest is our wonderful longtime SBA member since 2018, Dave LoSavio. And he is a realtor and capital investor with Mark Allen Realty by day, chairman of our ambassador group and co-chair of the SBA Real Estate Alliance. Dave is a keynote speaker, live stream host, MC, and an amazing friend to everyone that is lucky enough to meet him. And he is here today to talk about living beyond default. Dave, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Andrea. I am so grateful to be here. I love the lights on us. And I mean,
this is cool, isn't it?
It is. I hope my hair looks okay for everybody.
It looks super cool. Before we dive into our questions, Is there anything that you do not do and do not do well? Because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that's a great question. Some things that I don't do well are start tasks right away.
Okay.
Sometimes I have a challenge with procrastination, or I might be challenged with, let's call it,
Oh, Dave, I'm kidding. You do everything well, and it was not meant for you to think about anything.
I'm thinking, and I'm transparent, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm a lifelong learner, and I always realize that no matter how many hours you put in, you never call yourself a master. So I could be better at some things, and I'm working on them.
We are all constant learners for sure.
Yeah.
So let's dive right into the topic today, living beyond default.
Yeah.
Can you share with us how that became into being? Like, what is it?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And
talk about your younger self,
Yeah. Well, what I like to, I'll start off with my younger self. I was an only child for about 11 years until my brother came along, which was super cool. I was grateful. So somebody could say that I was always fending for my mom's or my dad's attention, being the only child.
Mm-hmm.
So as a kid, I always had to go out and find friends and find people, which is maybe why I am out and about and you see me always approaching people, strangers. I like to call them future friends. So my childhood was pretty normal throughout the northwest suburbs of Illinois my whole life. And about 10, 11 years ago, I decided to make a simple shift in my life. And that simple shift was just to stop drinking alcohol for 30 days. And the only reason why I did that was because I wasn't real happy at the time. I was making a ton of money. I was doing a lot of fun sort of things, but it wasn't really moving the needle forward in my life.
So it wasn't that you were doing things that were within fault, but you wanted to do something to get more progress in your life, or was that an alcohol you felt was holding you back?
It was holding me back.
Okay.
It was holding me back. There was something missing in my life. So at that time, about 11 years ago, I started what's called a self-improvement movement.
Okay.
I started being self-reflective. I started recognizing that it's okay to not feel good at times. And I started challenging myself to be better, to live beyond default. And I came up with that term because I believe it's living a life of design versus a life of neglect. I believe that so much of the world is set up in a default state to get you to maybe not feel good about yourself. And then you have to consume something to look better or to feel better. And then you'll be happy in the end. When really our happiness is just within us already.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how were you living before with default? Like what made you feel like that shift needed to happen?
And not everybody agrees with me and not everybody likes what I say. So it's you graduate high school, you go to college for 4 years, and then you save up for a home, and then you get into a family with 2.3 kids and 2 cars, and then you work till you're 65 for a corporation, and then you retire at 65 and then you're happy. To me, that's the default state. That's the way that the system pushes us into. And I realized I was part of that system, and I was on a hamster wheel because I was making multiple 6 figures. I had a job with security. I had insurance. I had everything I needed. It was the golden handcuffs.
Yeah.
I mean, I was the typical.
Weren't feeling happy.
No, I wasn't happy on the inside. So I decided to start making shifts in my life over the last 10 years and challenging myself to be better. When I found something that maybe, let's just say I knew was going to be hard to do, I went into it as opposed to walked away from it. And I just challenged the status quo with the people I surround myself with how I live my day. And I brought that, even when I quit my career. I mean, who leaves your career when you're making multiple six figures with everything that you need in the middle of the pandemic? Who does that?
Someone that's not happy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I would say it's more someone who wants to live beyond default, right? Somebody who wants to push through and become better. I was not happy at that time during the pandemic, but the pandemic taught me a lot of things. I self-reflected. I was honest with myself. I read books. I read The Alchemist. That's a big reason why I left, because I felt like I was that boy looking for his purpose. And then I finally had somebody around me who wasn't like, oh, Dave, you're okay. You're doing good. She said, no, you need to quit your job now. You need to jump out of a plane without a parachute and trust that you're going to sew it up before you hit the ground and go splat. That's beyond default.
Okay.
That's being with friends that aren't high-fiving you.
Right.
That's being with friends that call you out on your BS.
Okay.
Yep.
So what was an aha moment that happened when you were called out, or just in reflecting and looking back when you decided to make that shift that you're willing to share with us?
So I had a lot of aha moments in my life. When I was a kid, my dad said to me, Dave, I always did the right thing for people. And I always know that I did my best to take care of my customers, and I never have to look over my shoulder, meaning I never hurt anybody. I never had to think twice about what I did and that someone might come back to me and be upset. That was an aha moment. Another aha moment was seeing people around me that were building their own businesses when I was so used to being in the corporate world. And again, there's nothing wrong with the corporate world, and not everybody agrees with me, and it's okay. But seeing people in the corporate world and recognizing that there was a lot of people around me that really were starting their businesses and they were fully expressing themselves. That was an aha moment. Like, I didn't know that people can go out and actually start these businesses, because when my dad started his business back in the day, it was just way different.
And they could do what they love.
Yeah.
And you've seen their business excel.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And that's why I got into real estate. It really didn't have anything to do with selling homes. It's because my buddy Joe was doing real estate and I saw him being an entrepreneur, and I said, you know what? I'm going to give this a try. And 3 months later, I fell in love with it.
So share with us, you were saying like during the pandemic is kind of when you made that shift, when you realized you wanted to go in a different direction. How did you eventually turn that around to survive and thrive to where you are today? Like, how did that shift all happen?
Well, 10 years ago, when I started my self-improvement movement, I just realized that there were daily habits to do that would move the needle forward. You've got the basic ones, right? Eating right, working out, but also just like doing things like meditating, recognizing that journaling is important, recognizing that doing different daily habits, going to bed early on a consistent basis, waking up in the morning at the same time. These are all little things that come together. So to this buildup, when I decided to leave in the middle of a pandemic, when nobody knew what was happening, October 2020, the pandemic was a calling for me. And I know that a lot of people were hurt and a lot of people died. And at the same time, we were handed a deck of cards, and I'm choosing to thrive. I'm choosing to show up every day my best and make sure that I'm going to bring value to people that I love, whether it's my family, friends, clients, coworkers. And that was where I just made that shift, because when I was sitting alone, there was no noise. I'm in downtown Arlington Heights, up in my loft. Nothing's happening.
You're used to that.
And I'm quiet, and there's no noise, and nobody's telling me what to do. And right there, I started coming from my heart, and I started recognizing what's really important in life. Yeah, it was cool.
So what lights you up now? Like you figured that light, back in the day in the pandemic, you kind of found it. How do you keep that you light so many people up in your life. What, by giving to others, what is it that makes you be Dave?
I think that being comfortable in my own shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I think recognizing that I'm not going to be perfect. There's always going to be people better than me with whatever I'm doing. And realizing that fully expressing myself, not everybody's going to like me. I don't need people to like me. I'm not trying to take anything from people. I'm waking up every morning saying to myself, how can I bring value to the world today? How may I leave people better than I found them? And when I do that, people's faces just light up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to bring value. I'm here to add to the fun, to the joy, versus trying to take. And you can feel when people are trying to take.
And I'm going to throw this out because something that you did for me, I've been at the SBA for about 90 days now.
Yeah.
And I remember maybe not the first day I met you, because I met you months and months ago prior to being here, but you came into my office and you truly do what you say. You came right in here. We were sitting at this table and saying, how can I help you? What do you need? And it came from the heart, and it was something that I really needed because, starting a new job, you feel overwhelmed and a little bit, and all new people and just trying to navigate. And you really helped me and caused me to slow down, to really think and get back to the basics. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you give to others because I see it all the time. So,
well, thank you. I think you've done a wonderful job. And I will say to people that if you're not in a career that doesn't light you up, I'm not saying to quit your job today. Like, it was important for me to do that. I needed that pattern break.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is just think about what you really want to do. Think about, here's what I like to say. When you're on your deathbed, what are you going to look back and regret? You're going to regret things you didn't do
mm-hmm.
versus things that you did do. And what are you going to look back on and say, you know what? I should have done that.
Yeah.
Why didn't I do that? Right? So I just got lucky, divine intervention, whatever, where real estate is just an area where I can help and bring value and take my personal development and bring it to helping my clients find the deal and making it an easier, more fun process versus a tough process. I kind of got lucky in a sense
mm-hmm.
when I got into it. So thank you, because I really am doing my best to show up. And
you do it every day.
When it's, sometimes it's not the greatest, but it's still the best I could do that day.
Okay. And having grace with each other.
Yeah.
So living beyond default, what exactly does that mean to you now?
Well, that's the funny thing, is that the bar always gets set higher. Like,
it's never the same. I know.
No.
You do something good, you got to do better next time. Right.
Yeah. When you reach a goal, it's like, it just becomes the next step and the next, it becomes the next data point to go do something bigger and better. So for me, it's just a little bit of growth every single day. It's a self-reflection I do every single night. I say, what did I do well today? And what didn't I do so well today? And how can I be better tomorrow and show up just a little bit better than I did today? And I do that before I go to bed, because then it sits in my mind while I'm sleeping and it resonates and marinates. So that's one way.
Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night? Do you get that? Does it still resonate and marinate and make you not sleep? I'm saying this because I need advice. Because
almost never. My sleep schedule is so spot on. I'm dimming the lights a half hour, an hour before. I'm not watching YouTube or TikTok or anything before I go to bed. It's a very
reflective time.
I have a very chill process before I go to sleep. I fall asleep within a few minutes. And then I wake up usually before my alarm at 4:30 or 4:40, because my alarm goes off at 5. So my body clock is just set for that. But I sleep really well, and I'm super blessed and grateful for that. My mom said when I was a kid, I used to love going to bed. I said, how can that be? She's like, David, you couldn't wait to go to bed at night. She's like, we loved you for it. I'm like, awesome.
Okay,
So
it's you got good genetics.
yeah.
So how has so I know you meet people all the time.
All the time.
In real estate, you meet people all the time at SBA, just in general. How do you meet them, and who do you like to surround yourself around? Because there's a lot of like-minded people I know in your inner circle that I've seen.
Yeah. Well, I find that people that are self-reflective are usually the most successful. And the people that are honest with themselves and that are willing to go deep and willing to call themselves out on their own BS, I think that's really, really important. So the people that I surround myself with are mostly entrepreneurs of all ages. They're either super successful, either along with their family and their health and their wealth, or they're on that path to being successful in those areas. If you're showing up every day and doing your best and moving the needle forward, that's what I like. Now, there's a lot of people that want me to do things or want me to be around. And I recognize that it's better for me not to be around that, because I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. I want to learn from the room that I'm in. And as I'm hanging out with and surrounding myself with more like-minded people, more wealthy people, more people that are making a global impact versus just a local impact, I'm recognizing that my time, focus, and energy is so important, and it's important to keep it to myself a lot.
Right.
So it's funny because people think, because I know a lot of people, they think, oh, like I know when I hang out with everybody. Most of the time, Andrea, I go home and hang out by myself.
Right.
That's what most of the time I'm doing.
Well,
I'm by myself.
It's your time to reflect and learn all the things that you've done for others or they've done for you during the day. So I get that. I'm a little bit similar. So So I'm following this. So you're very active with the Schaumburg Business Association.
Love it.
You've been here since 2018.
Yeah.
How has it been beneficial to helping you grow your personal brand as well as your real estate brand?
Yeah, that's such a good question. So when I joined in 2018, I was in a different industry completely. I was in business to business sales. And when I was doing that, I only came into the SBA because I wanted to be a part of the business community and I wanted to bring value to it. I was not trying to sell anybody anything. Like that was the last thing on my mind. I just wanted to go to networking events. I wanted to shake hands. I wanted to meet people. And I wanted to see what this amazing community in Schaumburg.
Were you ever part of an organization like this before 2018? Sorry.
That's funny that you said that. When I lived in Lake Barrington, I was part of that chamber for a little while. And I was part of a B&I group for a little while. Very different. As I say all the time, Schaumburg Business Association is the #1 chamber in Illinois.
We love that.
And when I say that, it's because of it's not necessarily because of the size and how many members and how many companies. It's because of the management team. It's because of the board of directors. It's because of the members that are showing up to all these amazing events that we have, and everybody's giving.
They're showing up.
They're showing up.
And
nobody's one-upping. Nobody's trying to take.
Right.
Nobody's an energy vampire trying to suck the light out of the room. Like everyone is just helping out. So when I joined in 2018, the first group I joined was the young professionals. Like it's funny. They grandfathered me in.
Yeah, you weren't a young professional. No, I'm kidding.
I was the grandfather.
The same age.
Yeah. So it's so funny. Like that's what I was in. But why? Because those are the people I connected with. Like I wanted to be around young entrepreneurs. That's where I started. Now I'm the chair of the ambassadors and I do a lot of other things, but it helped me build my brand because I learned how to present myself. I learned what do I have inside me that can bring value to other business members in the community? And then you start to tailor how you say things and how you market yourself. And the SBA really did that. When the pandemic hit, the SBA was awesome. They provided us very good information about what was going on. They kept us moving through that time when it was tough. And then
kept you connected.
Yeah, it kept us connected. And then I get into real estate and it's like, well, okay, now I'm really in a space to where one-to-one with people.
You've got all these relationships now. You could help them.
I can help them.
Yeah. And they could help you too.
And they can. And here's something I want to say. How many real estate agents are there in the SBA? I was just with Jason Stallard and Don Block and Chris Welter.
And you all work together, which is
we all work
amazing.
together. I can drop how many other names? There's so many of them.
Yeah.
We're not in competition.
No.
If somebody chooses another agent, it's okay. If somebody chooses me, it's okay. Like, we're not all going to be right for everybody. Right. But when you see all of our real estate agents get together in the SBA, we're all friends. Yeah. It's the greatest thing ever.
You guys are great friends. And there's a lot of people in real estate, and that is so nice and refreshing. So let's say I'm a real estate agent, or I just opened a business in Schaumburg, and I'm thinking about joining the Schaumburg Business Association or another chamber. Yeah. What is the best tip you could give them once they join? And I think someone from like you to give this advice.
I think the best tip is going to be set boundaries on your time and what you're willing to give. Because I always hear the question of, well, what's the SBA going to do for me? And I like to come back and say, well, what are you going to do for the SBA? What are you going to bring to the number one organization, to the number one chamber in the state? What are you going to bring to us? Because we have a lot to bring to you, but it's how you're going to show up. Always what you give is what you get. So I always say, just pick how much time you want to put into it. Do you want to go to one event a month? Do you want to go to one event a week? Put it in your calendar, start showing up and just introducing yourself and asking questions to people. And I will say this, the question, what do you do? That's default. Mm-hmm. We can do better than that. Yeah. When you walk up to people, what do you do?
It's not beyond.
No, it's not beyond. When people say to me, what do I do? What do you do? I say, well, I do yoga. I do a live stream. I like to barbecue. I like to go to house music festivals. Oh no, what do you do for work? I go, well, you didn't ask that question. Yeah. Right? Why do we even need to talk about what we do for employment first? Like, let's get to know each other as humans and see if we vibe and we have the right energy and we're cohesive together. And then we can build businesses together, and then we can create wealth and make money together and do things. But just because I'm in real estate doesn't mean I need to be introduced to an attorney or an inspector or a lender. Introduce me to somebody completely opposite, because I want to be friends with them. I want to learn about them. So what do you bring to the SBA, right? What are you going to bring? And just come to events, because people are going to welcome you with open arms.
They are.
Yeah.
And speaking of welcome people with open arms, I know something that SBA has that several chambers, in the area might not have yet, or they're exploring to do, but we have an ambassador program. And you've been now an ambassador chair for 2 years, or is it? Yes.
That's it.
Oh, we're so lucky. I know that's it. We know we only got a little bit more time, 1 year with you.
You got 1 year left.
Yeah. But could you tell everybody what the primary role of our amazing ambassador group is, and why it's so special for new members to get to know our ambassadors?
That's such a good question, Andrea. The ambassador team here really is a volunteer team that is
of
here
members
that is here to shepherd and guide and answer questions and bring value and opportunities to its members. We're in such a time where everything's quick. There's so many distractions, and your ambassador really can bring some clarity about what this chamber can do for you and the opportunities for you to grow personally and professionally. And the ambassadors are just give. Yeah. Give. All they want to do is give to people. And that's what's amazing about the ambassadors. And the other thing is, when it's time for an ambassador to move on, I've noticed in the last 2 years is nobody holds on. They leave. They say
they're ready for the next.
They're ready for the next
to take over what they've done.
Yes, I want to give another ambassador a chance, and I don't have the time and energy to give what needs to be given as an ambassador, so I'm going to move on. People are very upfront and honest about that. And that's just what's so great about this ambassador group in this chamber.
And just in case our listeners aren't sure the context of this, what happens is we have a member that decides, a member company join the chamber, and usually there's a main contact. What we do when we welcome them is we assign each of these businesses an ambassador, and they work with the companies for the first 6 months and just help them if they go to events to introduce them and let them know about all the services that we provide. And it's great because it's a peer-to-peer versus our team here telling you that it's members that have wonderful experience on how they got their success. So thank you so much. I mean, it's something that you all don't have to do, but you volunteer and it really helps that. So you're a real estate agent. Let's talk a little bit about that. So just because, I'm sure people are hearing what a wonderful human you are, living beyond default. What do you specialize at Mark Allen Realty? Tell us a little bit about your business.
Thank you. Well, I am a residential real estate agent. So I buy and sell residential homes. I do a little bit in the commercial space. I do a lot in the off-market space. So homes.
And what does that mean for somebody?
It's a home that does not come up on the market. So you won't even see the home on Zillow. You won't see the home anywhere else.
Is it for refinancing?
It's usually a home that could be a distressed property or somebody needs to sell it and get out of it. I do door knocking, right? What agent does that now? Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of little like sub areas of real estate that I deal in.
Specialize in.
And I do a lot with transitioning seniors looking to downsize. I do a lot with somebody died in the family and there's a home and they don't know what to do with it. So
you're a consultant more, not just a realtor. You help them with their furniture, or their mom or father or whatever.
Yes. And here's what you talk about living beyond default. Mm-hmm. So here's a great example. While the news focused on low inventory and high interest rates and changes in the law in 2024 to realtors,
that's all you heard.
That's default. What was I doing? I was going out and getting new listings. Mm-hmm. I was going out and helping people and getting new clients. I had my best year ever last year. How did I do that?
And that's all you're hearing is people having their worst year ever.
Yeah, I had my best year.
Your secret sauce.
Beyond default. Mm-hmm. That's why I didn't focus on the things I can't control. I focused on what I can control. Mm-hmm. And it just comes down to the basic fundamentals. I'm making phone calls. I'm doing outreach. I'm just asking people questions. And even if they have an agent and they're asking me about real estate, I give them an answer. I help them out, or I say, hey, go to this website. It can help you out. That's beyond default, right? I don't need to take and hold information. I want to share it, whether you're working with me or not. I want you to have the best experience because, Andrea, I realize being in this business, nobody really knows about real estate. If you're not doing this, you're looking through Zillow, you're looking through all these Redfins and that, and yeah, people know data and people know what's sold in their neighborhood. Yeah, they know a lot. But when it actually comes down to the transaction itself and you start getting under contract,
it's a lot more complicated.
Nobody knows.
Right.
And they're not supposed to,
right?
Because they're not in the game, right? And that's when the magic really, really happens. You have the tough conversations. You bring up things that might be a problem. You say things that people don't necessarily want to hear, but they appreciate you being honest, right? Because you're dealing with people's families and homes. It's not a pen. It's not a car. Not that a car is not a big deal. Yeah, it's a lifetime. So
it's a lot more.
So thanks for asking about that because I'm in a good space, and you could even see when I talk about it, like I just speak from the heart with it. It's fun for me, and I'll say another thing. I love the hunt. Mm-hmm. I love the negotiation. Mm-hmm. I love the sale.
Well, you want your realtor to be in that game and love that too. Love that side.
I love that game.
Because when you win,
it's fun.
A great feeling.
Everybody's happy. Yeah,
right.
It's cool. So thanks for asking.
So if somebody is looking to list their home or looking for that living default, beyond default realtor, how could they contact you?
Well, thanks for calling me that. Yeah. So my name is Dave LoSavio. And if you just Google my name, Dave LoSavio, or if you do
everywhere.
If you do hashtag live beyond default in Google, everything of mine is going to pop up everywhere. It's very easy to get a hold of me. It's probably why I get a lot of spam calls on my phone.
Do you want to share your email or anything? I mean, that's the
Just
way
my
that they
name.
could find it.
Just my
and
name.
also they could go to SchaumburgBusinessAssociation.com and
Yeah.
you'll see Dave there, and you'll see tons of pictures. Our Facebook page. I mean, Dave's everywhere. So thank you so much, Dave, for sharing your personal journey
Thank you.
with us and helping to truly make SBA what is it? The
number one chamber in Illinois.
Oh, I love it.
And thanks for letting me open
Yeah.
up. I shared
Yeah.
some personal things on here that I don't always blast out, but I feel that this is a very nurturing environment
Safe
with
space.
respect to chamber.
Mhm.
Everybody really just wants, we all win together here.
We do.
And that's what's great about the SBA. So I always feel like I could show up and just be myself and know that I'm not perfect, but at the same time, know that there's opportunities for me to grow in this chamber. And it's people like you and others, not only in the membership, but on the management team that really give us this opportunity in the Schaumburg Business Association.
And thank you for my first 90 days, making me feel so special. And, sometimes change is difficult and changing jobs and changing homes, and you know it, you understand it, and you help with it. So
you're doing a great job.
Thank you. We just fist pumped, which is awesome. So you are so inspiring, Dave. So can't wait. And thank you to all our listeners for tuning in to this episode of Schaumburg Speaks. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a beat on the latest and greatest happenings at the SBA. And we'll be back with more incredible stories on our local businesses, community updates, great advice like this, living beyond default. And until next time, keep supporting local, stay engaged, and let's work together on making our community stronger. That's why we're all here.
Thanks, Andrea. Make it a great day, everyone.
Thank you.